All right, the fate of a franchise will be changed this evening. The Wizards, Hornets, and Jazz all have a 14% chance to land the first overall pick in this year's NBA draft. That means landing that man right there, Cooper Flagg, the NBA draft lottery getting going at 7 Eastern. After that, we continue with these NBA playoffs from the Garden. The Celtics shooting out the lights across the board in Game 3 versus the Knicks, especially with the 3-ball where they've done damage all season. Still fair to argue that the Knicks, they haven't played their best basketball yet, and they're up 2-1 in this series. Jalen Brunson and company have an opportunity to put a real stranglehold on this series with a win tonight in New York.
You have to earn it, and you're faced with a different challenge every game. Understand what that is, and you're concentrating on what wins the game. There's going to be highs and lows. There's a lot of emotion involved in the playoffs, and you got to bounce back quickly.
There's not a lot I could say. It's a lot that we need to discuss and figure out. But just from that standpoint, like, it's not anything schematically. It's more like, do we want it?
You know, you understand what comes with being that guy, right? I get a lot of praise. I get a lot of credit. I get a lot of accolades. But, you know, I'm not perfect. And there's times where, you know, I've needed to play better. I needed to do more. And, you know, that's what comes with being, you know, that guy.
We're on the path of trying to go after greatness, and you don't get to dictate the test that's in front of you. All you get to dictate is how you approach it and how you respond to it. So this is the fun part. You don't get into the journey for it to be easy. So it's been dark, but in a good way. You just got to tap into your darkness.
Hey, welcome to Playoff Central Live, presented by AT&T. Nabil Kareem alongside Quentin Richardson and Jalen Rose. Correct me if I'm wrong here. The Knicks are up 2-1 in this series, but they feel like the underdogs right now with the Boston Celtics. Even when they were up 2-0, I think there was still that doubt, unless you're a hardcore Knicks fan, that the Boston Celtics could come back and do this.
I believe that the Boston Celtics have a great chance to come back and win this series. But a couple of things are going to need to happen. One thing they're going to need is Porzingis to be more effective. Two, they're going to need to have Jaylen Brown, who was Finals MVP last year, to have the game. And also for the Boston Celtics is to mix up their attack. It's one thing to shoot the three and be happy with it, and you led the league in three-point shooting, so you know this. But sometimes they're contesting it. They're standing at the line. And they have guys that can mix up their game and play mid-range and play in the post and play at the rim. If they're able to do that, I think the Celtics still, even though they're down right now, have a chance to win this series.
Yeah, I'm with Jay Rose. I think the Celtics will win the next 3 straight and finish the whole series off. I mean, listen, if you look at what happened during the regular season, they didn't lose to them. They won pretty handily all 4 games. Then they come into this series, they up 20 both games first half. Then the third game they show them again. We go up 27, then go up 30. They've dominated this team. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not even – they just had a couple brain farts and gave the game away to them in the first 2 games. But other than that, it's been world domination. There's no reason to think that this shouldn't happen the way it's going to happen.
To your point, the Knicks have led for 12 minutes and 16 seconds in this series.
That's it.
In the entire series, which is kind of wild.
That's crazy.
Right. Think about that.
And for the Knicks, right, if it's a close game, you know you can give it to Brunson. He's been the best clutch player in the league all season. But where's Anunoby? As a Pistons fan, he was their second-best player throughout their series on both ends of the floor, and he's been quiet so far in the previous game. So they're going to need him to step up his productivity as well.
Yeah, he had just 2 points, 1 assist in Game 3. If the Celtics shoot the 3-ball like they were last game, I mean, that is going to be a difficult task for New York to overcome.
Yeah, that's true. But, like, I think in the second half, Jalen and Jason were conscientious about getting to that basket. But just look at these. These are uncontested, man. These guys are pros and all-NBA, all-star type players. You can't have these guys shooting from this distance, this open. Then Pritchard, 6th man of the year, late contest. That's nothing, right? That's just standing there shooting. Then you come off this pick and roll right here, and Cat Towns is too slow stepping up. That's at the end of the day, uncontested, wide open. And then you see the ball moving right here. This is a great skip pass by Drew Holiday to the corner. Another late contest, basically not contested. Cold cash.
So that's on New York now, right, to get to those closeouts and to make life more difficult. Because on the flip side of things, Boston's defense, they've given New York fits in this series so far.
Well, and they stepped it up in the previous game, getting blocks, getting steals, getting deflections, being more active. And that's who the Boston Celtics are. We talk a lot about their offensive prowess and their three-point shooting, but normally they get into their offense by playing very good defense. As you see Jaylen Brown with the contest, and Drew Holiday, anytime there's a loose ball, he's likely going to get it. Contesting the ball handler the entire way down the floor. Porzingis with the contest at the rim. Karl-Anthony Towns not playing strong in the paint. 2 weak shots, complaining to the officials. And that's what the Knicks are going to also need. They're not going to need Karl-Anthony Towns and Mitchell Robinson to be complaining to the refs. They need them boys actually to be competitive and be productive. And as you see, Karl-Anthony Towns getting blocked again. So for the big cat, can he be effective in the paint? I understand that he loves to be acknowledged as the best three-point shooting 7-footer that the league has seen. He must not have met Dirk Nowitzki, but that's another subject for another day. But they're going to need him in the paint.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's where, if the Knicks are going to win this series, he's got to be effective scoring the basketball and getting to the line.
Well, speaking of Towns, he's dealing with that, what looked like an injury last game when he hit Luke Cornett. That finger, everyone saw the viral video, I broke it. Now, he's not on the injury report, which is obviously great news for the Knicks. But at the same time, if he is not anywhere close to being able to shoot the ball the way, he can, like you guys are talking about, that is huge for New York.
No, yeah. I mean, they need him healthy. They need him productive, man. But like J. Rose said, more importantly, man, the crowd in New York was out of control, and they didn't give him anything to go and get loud about, J. Rose. They never, they had the Deer District, out front. They had the people out in front of, it was pandemonium, and you get in there, it's star-studded. Me and J. Rose, no, we lived this. We sat there, it's star-studded, the garden is crazy, it's ready to explode, and you give them nothing.
Well, look at the numbers right here. This is kind of crazy, just to your point, with that advantage you have in New York, but their numbers so far this postseason.
Well, that's Q Rich's point, right? That's a big stage that you got to perform on, and you got to step up to the plate when the defending world champions are coming into your building and you won 2 games on the road. You got to find a way to play better in Game 3. You get waxed the way they did in Game 3. Now the Celtics have all of the momentum and they have all of the confidence. They have what it takes to tie up the series.
All right, so what does New York have to do in this game in order to have a chance to tie up?
They got to start early, man. They got whatever it is they're going to do. They got to play well early and give themselves a chance. They can't continuously go down 20-plus points against the defending champions. That's Game 3 showed them that's not the recipe. It's not going to continue to work. They're not going to continue to miss all of these open shots. They got to give their crowd some energy, and they got to start off and come out there to fight today.
I know what I'm going to get from Brunson because he's going to give effort.
Right.
We need Josh Hart to make his open shots. But Karl-Anthony Towns has to play in the paint, and OG Anunoby has to be effective offensively. He can't be invisible offensively. The one thing about OG that I love, he guards multiple positions. He can guard you forwards. He can guard the guards late in the shot clock, early in the shot clock. He can make an open three. He can be in a dunker spot. But they need him to be productive. Yeah. And that's what he's going to have to do today.
Yeah, he's got that championship experience. So he's been in these situations, tough situations where they need him. And they're going to need him tonight. Hey, later this evening, Game 4, the Timberwolves and Warriors, Anthony Edwards.
Watch your head.
So he turned it on the second half of Game 3. What can Golden State do without Steph Curry? And again, the draft lottery going 7 Eastern. Those ping pong balls going to weigh real heavy tonight. In the NBA, the prize for this year's draft, it's Cooper Flagg. Could be franchise-altering. He's got all the tools to make a major impact. Andy Katz recently sat down with Flagg.
We all project you to be the number 1 pick. That was talked about a year ago, and now it feels like it's going to be a reality. What's that feel like that you're going to be potentially the number 1 pick?
Yeah, I think for me, it's just this whole process, number 1 pick or not, it's a dream come true. Being able to get drafted is something that I always dreamed about. So just to be in these moments, I'm trying to cherish every single one of them, go through this with some humility, be humble about everything, and just really just enjoy these moments with my family.
You've been on winning teams all the time. Mount Verde, Duke, and now we don't know. You might be in a franchise that needs you to help them get from the bottom. We'll see how it all plays out. But how do you think you'll handle losing?
I think like you kind of touched on earlier, it's just part of what comes with it. Dealing with the highs, dealing with the lows. But at the end of the day, I'm just, I'm going to go out and play as hard as I can every single night, try and be myself to the best of my ability and, worry about the rest of it later.
How would you describe your game?
I would say it's just pretty versatile. For me, the biggest thing that I've always prided myself on is making a lot of different winning plays all around the court and doing a ton of different things to impact winning and, give my team the best chance possible. So I'll just say the versatility on both ends of the ball.
All right, taking a look at the lottery odds. Again, the Jazz, the Wizards, and the Hornets with the best shot at 14% of landing that number one pick in tonight's draft lottery. The Pelicans and the 76ers rounding out the top 5, with that being the top 10. The Trailblazers at 3.7%. Let's start with Cooper Flagg. And a lot of people have just seen his highlights. They saw that little scrimmage with Team USA, and they have this idea of who Cooper Flagg is. But how does his game translate over to the NBA in your mind?
It translates for me because he has all the requisite skills. He can dribble, pass, and shoot. He can be the ball handler in a screen action. He can be the screener. That's the roller. He's a defender. He can catch a lob. He can make an open shot. He's a really good teammate. He has height. He's basically 6'9", to make an open three-point shot. So there's a reason why a lot of teams want to have this number one pick tonight, and they're going to have all of their things that make them feel lucky. You know what I'm saying? Carrying rabbits and doing whatever they got to do to make them feel lucky tonight, because he is that kind of player. Now, I don't think he's like the Victor Wembanyama or Shaquille O'Neal, Tim Duncan type of franchise-altering number one, we going to win the championship when Magic Johnson is a rookie type of player. But I do think he's going to be a key piece, a second-best player on the championship caliber team.
Yeah, I mean, the number one thing that sticks out to me is that how hard he plays. You know what I'm saying? And the fact that, like Jay just said, he doesn't need the ball to impact the game. And I like that he has that mentality. I've heard him on the record saying that shots and shots attempts and shots going in doesn't determine how good he's playing in the game. You love to hear that, you know what I'm saying, as a future teammate of his or whatever. But I think I agree with Jalen saying that he's not the type of guy that's going to come in and alter your franchise like a Shaq did when he first got there. I think, like he said, he's going to come in and be really, really good. He's definitely going to improve your team, and he's going to be, like he say, a big-time building block. Mm-hmm. But he doesn't have, to me, he doesn't have the offensive type of pop to, like, come in and say, I'm about to average 30 or be like this all-star first year and all of these things. I think it'll, you know what I'm saying, he's going to be good. He's going to be a good young player, and he has a chance to be a superstar in this league. But obviously it'll take some work.
What's the best fit? As you're looking at those teams on that board right there, what would be the best fit for Cooper Flagg?
So, like, the teams with the best odds are the Wizards, Hornets, and Jazz. To me, if the Hornets want to keep a viable franchise, they need to pray that they get him.
Absolutely.
They have LaMelo Ball. They have Miles Bridges. They have a couple of pieces. But since he played at Duke, that'd be a great win for Michael Jordan and a good look for them. But, like, basketball-wise, I always felt like a team that had a great roster that underachieved was the Pelicans. So if he could fall to them where they have Trey Murphy III and Zion Williamson and Brandon Ingram, and they have so many pieces already with the Pelicans, and they can now add him, I feel like that'll be a game changer for them.
Yeah, that'll be a home run. Like Zion at the draft today, he at the lottery, he the good luck charm. He gonna be sitting up in the seat, big Zion.
Okay,
he the good luck
I like that. I like
you
that.
Feel me? They sent the 18. They sent the 18 out there.
I like that.
Well, a lot of teams did a lot of losing for this day. So let's just put it that way.
So sad.
Hey, come on now. That's what happened. Jimmy Butler does not want to lose tonight. Got more coming up on Playoff Central Live. Big night in the NBA.
The horn will sound here at the Chase Center in San Francisco. The Timberwolves have taken a 2-1 series advantage.
Anthony Edwards, absolutely sensational. The fourth quarter, he was at his best.
I stunk in the first half. But, you know, it happens, man. Shots going to fall. Shots not going to fall sometimes. But you know, as long as you trust the work, keep shooting it, you'll be all right.
The Wolves will look to take a 3-1 lead on Monday night here in San Francisco, trying to get to the conference finals for the second straight year.
Man, every game is the most important one for us right now. So this is a huge one. We weather the storm. Try to get one more before we go home.
Big win. Big win. You know, they're a very tough team. Yeah, we had to play until the last second.
Nothing changed. I took my same shots. I just didn't lose confidence. You got to have confidence at an all-time high. And I never lack that. So I'm always be good.
Trip down, man. Trip down, man.
Hey, great stuff, man. I mean, way to find a way to win. We're looking at the tape, see where we get a little bit better. All right. But awesome stuff. Here we go. Let's go.
Work, baby, work. Wolves on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Minnesota up 2-1 in that series after their Game 3 win, and Anthony Edwards was outstanding in that fourth quarter at 13 of his 36 points to lead the team. But can we give some love to Julius Randle? Triple-double. He's been outstanding in these playoffs, especially coming off the narrative that he can't perform in the postseason.
Julius had an amazing game. That was probably his best game of his playoff life. I mean, he was bringing the physicality. I feel like he had a lot to do with Draymond getting into foul trouble. But he was out there being a bull in a china shop, getting to the basket, making plays, rebounding, and doing whatever he had to do to help the team. He played well.
The Golden State Warriors can't win without Steph Curry. They just can't score enough points. And it was great for me to see Kuminga have 30 points in the previous game. And you know this, Q, as a player, when you know that you can be productive for the team and the coach isn't giving you minutes, and then all of a sudden you won a championship with them, you've shown that this is your contract year, and you trying to take it to the next level, and all of a sudden you get DNPs. So now Steph goes out, he's getting big minutes, and I'm happy to see him play well. He and Jimmy Butler led them offensively, but they just won't have enough points offensively. And you're exactly right. Julius Randle has been terrific playmaking. Before he was, as you mentioned, a bull in the china shop, he didn't have the level of patience to get his teammates involved. Now that he's doing that, it really has unlocked his attack. And I feel like the Timberwolves are going to have what it takes to win without Steph Curry.
You talk about Jimmy Butler. He really refocused in that game to being more aggressive, 33, 7, and 7. I'm assuming it's just got to be the same thing again tonight. He's got to go for over 30 and have that aggressive.
Oh, absolutely. Because like Jay Rose is saying, you already missing Steph. If you can't get 30 out of Jimmy, it might be a blowout.
Mm-hmm.
Like literally, because those are your two best scorers. And obviously, Pajinski can come in and hit some threes and do some things. But those are your two volume guys. When you look at Jimmy Buddy Love, too. You need Buddy Love to have another outstanding game. But they didn't just switch and put the defense we was going to play on Steph on Buddy, so they're trying to kind of neutralize him. So it's going to be a tall task, man. No doubt Jimmy Butler's got to show up and be big time, and hopefully he could take him.
Jalen, let me ask you this. What is the best version of Draymond Green for this team in this moment right now?
Well, he got to make open shots. Like, we know he's going to defend. We know he can play, do dribble handoffs, set screens or whatnot, but they're leaving him open. And if he starts to make shots, they look like a different offense. When he's missing shots, you sag off of him more, in particular if you Rudy Gobert. So for Draymond, he has to be a guy that's not a triple single. He has to be a guy that can get you 15 points, can shoot efficient, and find a way to make timely baskets when the team needs it.
Yeah, and Draymond, to his credit, in Game 7 of the last series was putting up points in production, and in Game 1 of this series, like you mentioned, he's got to get those shots down. Focusing again on the Celtics and the Knicks. If you're Boston, again, you're down. You're probably feeling good. What's the game plan going into that first quarter?
Well, they need their best players to actually play as such. You need Jason Tatum and Jalen Brown to shoot better than 30% from the floor in this game. You need Kristaps Porzingis to actually give you some productivity to create a level of balance for you. You need your backcourt, Drew Holiday and White, to make their open shots, but lock down that guy right there, Jalen Brunson, defensively, who we know in the clutch, if it's a close game, that he's proven to be the best guy in the league. But if you're the Boston Celtics, you got to find a way to be in position to take the game so that Brunson can't win it at home because he's showing you that he can do that.
Yeah, I agree, man. They've shown that, like you said, Jason Tatum and Jalen Brown haven't even played particularly well in this series yet. So that doesn't bode well for the Knicks, knowing the leads that they've had in the first two games, knowing what they did to them in Game 3, and still looking at it and saying they haven't played particularly well. So us as players, we know that's on their mental. Mm-hmm. They trying to come out this game tonight and lead their team. And if they play well, it's pretty much going to be over.
And with Porzingis dealing with whatever he's dealing with, this illness, I mean, shout out to Al Horford, who just continues to get it done, man.
Yes.
Even threw down that alley-oop the other day.
Yes, sir.
I'm happy to see Al be productive, but you can't rely on him to play too many minutes, especially against a Karl-Anthony Towns and a Mitchell Robinson. One is going to get the offensive boards. One is going to give you a lot of post-ups. Porzingis has to be a productive player if they're going to advance.
And I look at Luke Cornett, though. Luke Cornett has been a viable, substitution. When he comes in, he's made himself into a player. I didn't like they were getting rid of Rob Williams when they did, but Luke Cornett stepped up and said, nah, I'm formidable, and he's been solid. So if for whatever reason Porzingis can't get right, I think Luke Cornett could step in and be okay.
All right, quick prediction on this one. Celtics or Knicks tonight?
Celtics.
I'm going Celtics as well. I think they tie this series, and I think the Knicks want to get away in Game 3.
All right, we got complete post-game coverage coming up here on NBA TV after the game. We will see you then.